Hi everybody, Adam here. Welcome back to our Lego room. Today we're taking a look at the awesome TrixBrix R104 Monster Double Slip Crossover. This is the latest addition to our track collection here and will be soon integrated into our train layout around the Lego room. Super excited about this, an awesome monster crossover, which, looks amazing and really is huge. An awesome piece of, engineering that TrixBrix has done here. Now, as you know from previous videos, TrixBrix is a company that makes mostly track. They do some other cool things as well, but they make a lot of different types of track that can work for your Lego train layouts. Obviously not a Lego product in and of itself, but is set up completely to integrate seamlessly with Lego. And you can see here they do an excellent job with their color matching. So I've got all Lego bricks here in my Mills modules and as the sort of side portions of the ballast, and you can't tell. Looking at it from a distance, the Lego looks exactly like the TrixBrix track here from a color perspective. So really excited with their work in general, and I think this is going to be an amazing addition to our layout. I've been talking about this crossover for a while because I really wanted a nice way to start branching trains off of our main line into the yard space that runs down here over towards the grain elevator. And I also really want some staging areas on the outer edge of the track over here as well. So I think this is going to be an amazing sort of vehicle to utilize as we move and progress down that path. Now, you will notice that in addition to putting the track together here, we already have this on top of Mills modules. The Mills modules we've got two 32 by 32 base plates wide, and then actually 5 of those going down the crossover there. So quite larger than I initially anticipated. I thought it was going to come in around 2 by 4. So, definitely a really sizable piece of track that we're going to, first to put together, but then to integrate as well. But happy to have it on the Mills modules because that's going to allow us to easily integrate it into our existing track, and will also allow us to take this to an upcoming train show that we're going to in 5 days time for when the train show starts, 4 days until we do setup. So, it's coming up quick, but it's going to be great to not only put this to the test in our layout here in the Lego room, but also to get it out into the wild and to see how it performs in a train show setting. So quite excited about that. Now, in terms of the Mills modules and how this comes apart to transport to and from the shows, I've split the Mills modules right down the middle here. This was the natural sort of break point or connection point in the crossover. So we've got 2 sections here. Each are 2 base plates wide and 2.5 base plates long going this way. And, they separate here. We'll probably have to do a little bit of extra care to make sure this is nicely padded up and, ready for transporting to and from the show. But, I'm happy that one, I don't have to take this and carry it around monolithically because that would be a lot. Definitely doable, but would be a lot. So it's nice to have that break point there. Now, before we look closer at some of the operations of this crossover, a couple other things to note here. One, I've used the 1x4 TrixBrix railway ties here. Great printed tiles that I think add a lot to the look of the track and the overall module. I still need to come along here. I've got a whole bunch of the 1x1s that match up with these, so those will be getting added along here as well to finish off that sort of overall look. So you can see, just quite happy with how that looks on the track there. Now, the other thing to note, so this monster double slip crossover came as a bundle. So there was the track, and then I also got the ballast plates, which go sort of underneath and around the track here, to give you the initial sort of ballasted track that you need when you're putting together this crossover and track in general, and then putting it on top of mills. What I had to do is then underneath all of that, I put in the tiles and some plates to basically float this at the right level, so it will connect in seamlessly with the other track that we have on the main line. So you can see a little bit of that under here, mostly using tiles for the floating. There's not that many connection points where I could use the 1x2 plates to sort of give an anchor point for the track to attach to. But the 1x2 anchor points are at each sort of end of the track. So there's anchor points all along here. Then at the midpoint, there are anchor points on the outside track. The inside track right here doesn't have or didn't have nice connection points that I could anchor. So this is free floating in here. And then on the other side over here, same idea, anchor points on the outside tracks there, and then anchor points at the end of all four pieces of, or all four train lines there. Now, I'm not worried about that, generally speaking. Everything's really solid in here. I'll show you like I said, what it's like when the tank car moves over this crossover in a moment, but it's all really stable. Where it might be a little tricky is when I'm packing this up and taking it to and from the train show. But, my plan is just to sort of wrap this up nicely. I'll sort of make a cardboard, a thin sort of cardboard box that I can wrap around this, just to each of the sections, just to keep them nice together. If something does happen to come off, it should be fairly straightforward to reassemble at the show when I'm doing the setup. So not too worried about that. And, like I said, all super stable, but that's the point where I think I will notice the fact that it's mostly floating is when it comes to the transportation aspect and getting this connected back together. Just makes things a little more exciting, but should be fine. Other things to note, so the track and the ballast plates all came in plastic Ziploc bags. It was all nicely packaged up. Really happy with that aspect of it. It was a little tricky to put together. You've got a lot of different little pieces that need to connect together, but using the images on the TrixBrix website, I was able to kind of puzzle through and get things set up relatively quickly. But that is something that's worth noting. There are a lot of parts when you get this, and it does take a little bit of thinking and puzzling through it to make sure that everything is in the right spot, and behaving the way that you want it to. So happy with all that, how all that went. Now, obviously, the next exciting thing is, how does this operate, in terms of like when trains are moving over it, how does it, react, and how smooth are things? And, I'm really happy to say that the track is quite nice, very smooth ride from my initial tests with just sort of hand moving trains over top of the track here. And the amazing thing here is just how many options you have for moving trains around the whole unit here. So many options. We go and do, actually, I guess we want this one right here. Brings us over here. Come back this way. We're going over, down. If we do, I guess we actually want that one there. Go through. And then if we move this one, head back up, and we head over to there. Come back there. So, really smooth ride, and, awesome how many different combinations that you can get here. Moving in and around this gives you, really nice access to all four of the track lines. Obviously, the next step is going to be to not only integrate it into the main line, but to also run trains over it at speed. And that'll be interesting to see as well. How do the trains move through? Does that smooth ride continue? But, I really expect it to behave the same way. Very silky smooth moving through. The track is very stable. All the switches are really nice. It's quite a nice ride over all of those switches, and really easy to operate those switches with these nice elements they have here. So super happy with things from that perspective. Now, obviously, as part of that integration process into the main line, I need to make a choice about exactly how it will integrate into the main line via this chunk of the layout right here. As I mentioned, this is 2x5 Mills modules, the 32x32 base plate Mills modules long. That's going to take up a really sizable chunk of this area right here. And, I've got to make a choice. Do I want to have the two middle tracks here be the main line? So that would give us one track siding on the outside edge, one on the inside edge. Nice thing about that, immediately gives us two siding areas to access, so we can have trains staged on the outside and on the inside. Gives us access down towards the grain elevator and lets us start working on this particular side of the layout right away. The disadvantage is that, with the way, with just how huge this crossover and, module is, it's not going to give us a lot of sort of room on that outside staging area there for trains, just because, before, the amount of distance that it's going to take the trains to get out and off onto that outside siding area. We're not going to be able to have a super long train out there. What we can do, though, is potentially move it so that this whole unit here, we use the outside edge as the inner mainline track. That would give us 3 track lines in the staging area immediately. and would give us a lot of opportunity to build out track on this inner industrial staging area right away. We could get trains staged in here, access a lot of different track moving up and down here. And then what we could consider for the outside mainline track there is just having a standard switch that goes out and opens up a line of track that goes all the way down, and you would be able to have, that would probably cover 2 base plates. So from about right there all the way down, that's how long that train could be. So it'd be much quicker if we used a switch like that on the outside edge there, and we could get a longer train out there. So I think that might be the way that I go. I'm going to try, we've got a nice point here. I'm going to integrate this into the layout here and run it a bit before the train show, but then we're going to take everything out to the train show. So then when we bring stuff back in, we could have a different configuration and run some different tests there. So nothing's set at this point, but kind of leaning towards having the 3 tracks for the yard area here, just because I think it will work better in terms of the trains that we can have, in the staging area, and, just a nicer sort of use of track for the space that we have here. But we'll see. I'm curious to know what you guys think. If you've got opinions, make sure to let them, to post them down below in the comments. Really interested to hear what you think, but that's my initial thinking. Mainline, 3 staging areas, then have another switch that goes over on that outer mainline track, and the longer staging area heading down that way. So keep an eye out. We'll post a video soon, once this is integrated, as we, and then we'll run trains at speed through all of it. But, like I said, initial tests, just hand moving trains through. I think this is going to be a really amazing module. And, I'm really excited about the fact that I get to take it to the train show as well. Just another different sort of use case, and it'll give us a good gauge right out of the box here, right out of the gate, how well this is going to perform in different situations, both as something that's attached to a main line, as something that's part of a train yard completely. But just out of the box here, quite happy with it, just from both an operation standpoint of running the train through, and all the, this tank car, running it through and seeing all the options for moving the trains from track to track throughout this module. But also just really happy from a look standpoint. Looks amazing. They've done an excellent job of creating this product. Track looks beautiful. And, even when this is not in intense use and operation, it's going to be an amazing sort of piece to look at in the layout. So really happy about picking this up. And, I would definitely encourage you guys, if you haven't been to the TrixBrix website, go check out their amazing track. And, I'm definitely looking forward to continuing to pick up some of their, really cool, awesome products, and seeing, the interesting track layouts and geometries that we can open up for ourselves, not only in the layout here in the Lego room, but also out at shows. We're definitely starting to hit the point where we're not going to have all of the track modules that we have in use all the time around the layout. We're going to start having some things that we have in storage that we call upon for the layout at different points, or that we have to take out to specific shows, depending on, what's needed for a given show. So I think that's exciting, because it opens up some, more opportunities to put together interesting modules like this that can be used and have, a life in different contexts. So Overall, really excited with the TrixBrix Monster Double Slip crossover. It's R104, and looking forward to putting this through its paces on the layout soon. Now, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please make sure to do so that you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. And thank you very much for watching. We will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.